Hello everyone, this is the Abundance Oracle. Please like, subscribe, and share. Okay, I'm going to get right into the subject today. Are you a lone, an individual, single parent, or part of a team of a single mom and dad, divorced or however it works out? But are you one individual or are you part of a team? And even though you're a team, even though you have an ex-spouse, you may not be part of a team working together in your children's best interest. So if you're alone. So this is a video for you to listen to carefully. Women tend, and these are all generalizations, so don't get upset if you don't fall into this category, but women tend to be too nice and kind as a single mom, allowing kids to grow up with unbalanced sweetness. Perhaps learning to cook, shop, dressing well, etc. Men tend to be, and again, you may not fall into this category, but men tend to be too strong and responsible as a single dad, allowing kids to grow up unbalanced with a lot of self-discipline. I'm not saying it's bad, I just have talked to a lot of single parents this week. Perhaps learning tough love, taking on finances, keeping cars, working, house repairs, etc. for the men. Being a single mom or a single dad is double the work. So if you get divorced and your ex-partner is not working with you, you're not a team to raise the kids, because a lot of times divorces end up in mother versus father, not two people divorced, but yet as a partnership to raise children. Okay, hold on. So being a single mom or dad is double the work. If your ex-partner is not in the picture, you need to fulfill both roles: strength, competency as the dad role, sweetness, understanding, and competency as the mom role, thus providing for the development of the children, having both parents married or in a working separation, divorce, living separately, but involved together. This is the best for the kids, and I can say also for the parents. So I'll tell you what has brought this conversation around to be is long conversations with two single moms this week, and also single moms that I know that come struggling with this same issue. So moms tend to be too kind and want to please their children. And if you end up doing that, instead of learning how to also be tough and teaching self-discipline and teaching them how to mow the lawn and teaching them how to do all the things that they need to learn as an individual, and vice versa, the dad, if you end up being too strong and too regimented and too disciplined and force your kids like a strong dad would, and that doesn't have the sweetness of the mom around to have that nice little calm them down conversation, your child is going to grow up very one-sided. And I have two single mom friends that now are stuck trying to figure out how to convert their friends into convert their children into not just the sweetness, but into self-discipline, seeing what responsibilities that they need to carry on with their own finances, learning about jobs, learning about how the world is tough sometimes, but how it works. And I actually don't know very many, I don't think I know any men that are single and don't still interact with the moms. I think it tends to go the other direction. But raising a boy being a single mom is not always easy. because you have to yourself be the mom and the dad and the tough one. And if you were never the tough one in your life, you're going to have to learn how to do that. I'm going to tell you a little story. I won't tell you what happened to one of my, how this happened and how I responded back to my kids. But you know how in schools teach your kids, oh, if you're getting abused or you're getting, your parents are too tough on you, you can tell us. And you know, you can report your parents. So my daughter came home from, I'm going to say it was probably middle school. And she said, and I said, well, if you don't do your work that you're supposed to do for the house, and I don't know if it was pulling weeds or whatever it was, but it was something that she didn't do, and it was getting close to dinner time. And I said, well, you know, you don't get dinner if you don't get your household chores done first. And she said something like, Mom, you know, I can report you because you have to feed me until I get older. And I said, you know what? You are absolutely right. But I will tell you, I'm allowed to turn you over and so that you can get into a new family. And I gave an example of a family that she could be put with. And she did not like that because the family that I was insinuating she could be put with was not a step up for her. It would be a step down for her. And the dad was really a tough guy. So I said, you go ahead and decide. We can go either way. Either you can go out and pull the weeds and stay and I'll take care of you. And, you know, you go to college and we'll end up being best of friends after we get over this hump in our relationship right here. Or I can turn you over to so-and-so's parents and they can, you know, adopt you, or you can go with foster care. Some foster care people you may have to live in this other town near us that's not a good town, or, you know, but you don't get the choice to pick who's your foster parents. So I said, you go ahead and take your time and you decide. We'll be having dinner at 6 or whatever it was, and either your chores will be done and you can have dinner with us, or your chores won't be done and you can't have dinner. And she thought about it and thought about it, and she was shocked that I came back with a solution that would have been, it was a harsh reality. Now, my first daughter, I'm giving things away. I had one daughter that I could explain things to, and she would understand. And she would do what she needed to do and was very responsible. The second one, who was different than the first one, it took everything I had to learn to be tougher than she was. And it was not an easy task at all. And I was patting myself on the back. How did I ever come up with this foster care family that I could get rid of her to a foster care family? Because we had, although it was a very small place we were renting at the time, she had a mom that before she went to bed would give her a little foot massage and talk to her. And she decided, well, maybe after all this, she would go out back and pull the weeds. And that's what happened, and came in and had dinner. And it was never a problem again. But there were other problems that I had to learn to be as tough on disciplining and tough on her that I could be, because she is strong and she is bold and dynamic. And I had to learn how to be a dad. You know, a dad might even say to the daughter, smack her on the rear end and say, get going out there, or something. And I thought, okay, I've got to learn. I got to learn to be strong, because this one's going to run me over. And it worked out all well. And now she's like very wonderful. Dare I say, she probably calls me more often and asks how I'm doing, more than the one that was easy. Although the one that's easy is special in her own ways. It's really funny how kids are different. And if you're a single mom, I hope you understand what I'm saying. They're all wonderful, and you just have to learn who you need to be to keep them being wonderful through those teenage years. Those are something else, huh? Okay, love you all. This is the Abundance Oracle. I'm working on a goal myself to increase my subscriber people. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you don't mind helping me out, please hit that subscribe button. Love you all. And tell me, what is the naughtiest thing that you got punished for when you were growing up? I'm very interested to hear what some of those things were. Right down below. Love ya. Bye.